mayors, city delegates, and online viewers from around the world, thank you for joining the 2020 Smart City Mayor Summit online. This year, the Mayor Summit is taking place virtually and turning into an excellent opportunity for international exchange and collaboration. Taipei City Deputy Mayor Huang Shan-shan and delegates from cities worldwide will engage in talks with one another regarding smart governance that utilizes technologies to bring cities back to normalcy amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Joining the online summit today are mayors and delegates from the following cities. First, please welcome Taipei City Deputy Mayor Huang Shan-shan.
Hello.
Next, we would like to welcome Grant Smith, Mayor of Palmerston North, New Zealand. Next, we would like to welcome Logan Howlett, Mayor of Coburn, Australia.
Hello.
Next, please welcome Carol Adams, Mayor of Kwinana, Australia. Next, let us welcome Kemi Day, Deputy Leader, Edinburgh Council, UK.
Good morning.
Next, please welcome Mohammed Oni Misi Yahaya, Assistant Director, National Information Technology Development Agency, Nigeria.
Good morning from Abuja.
Good morning. Next, we would like to welcome Tai Tan Hai, Head of Information Technology Division, Da Nang City, Vietnam.
Hi, everyone.
First, let me invite Taipei City Deputy Mayor Shan-shan Huang to deliver her welcoming remarks.
City leaders, ladies and gentlemen, greetings. I am Shan-shan Huang, the Deputy Mayor of Taipei City. The Smart City Summit and Expo, which was originally scheduled for March, was postponed due to COVID-19. Our decision was based on the threat of contagion from face-to-face interactions. Fortunately, thanks to advances in technology, we are able to conduct the event today using online streaming and video conference tools. To my knowledge, COVID-19 has infected over 21 million people worldwide, and Taiwan has reported 485 confirmed cases. The continual spread of the virus across the globe has caused numerous changes to people's daily lives, as well as to industry and economies. I wish to express my thanks to everyone for taking time off from their busy schedule to be here today, especially consider the time demands the city representatives globally are facing in deal with the pandemics. Though this online event, we hope to address how different countries are dealing with COVID-19 and how municipalities are examining topics such as pandemic prevention measures, technology-assisted solutions, and outlooks on economic recovery and industry transition in the post-pandemic world. So far, Taipei City Government has been effective in preventing the spread of COVID-19 with the city. The achievement can be attributed to the lessons learned from the SARS crisis in 2003. We are grateful to the citizens for supporting and complying with related regulation and policies. Their compliance, combined with the advanced deployment measures imported across multiple fields, enable effective response. Through approaches such as public-private partnership and technology-assisted pandemic prevention, we were able to minimize the effect of COVID-19. The world around us has been changed by COVID-19, from daily lifestyles to industrial norms. Whether it's the economy of the way we live, there is no turning back. Therefore, we must adopt strategies that integrate pandemic prevention, relief, and transition. We must assist companies and members of the public in readjusting their mindset, implementing the necessary transition, and devising new socio-economic models adapt to the new norm. The 2020 Smart City Summit and Expo online hopes to strengthen the connection between Taiwan and the world through the innovative transition. The online event series, which kicked off in June, featured numerous virtual and real-world integrated activities to promote and extend the reach of this year's Expo, as well as setting the foundation for the upcoming 2021 Smart City Summit and Expo. Despite the unpredictability of the pandemic, the interaction and the exchange between Taipei and the global community will not be interrupted. On the contrary, we hope to use this opportunity to further strengthen collaborative efforts. By sharing experience in multiple smart city fields, we are confident that we can overcome future challenges together. Once again, I thank you, all of you, for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Huang. We will now take a virtual group photo of all the meeting delegates to capture this special moment on camera. Representing Taipei in the group photo will be Deputy Mayor Huang and Ambassador Tom Cho, who is the Commissioner of Taipei Mayor's Office for External Affairs. Commissioner Cho will also be the moderator of today's roundtable discussion. So city mayors and delegates, please look into your camera. We are about to take a screenshot. Ready, set, smile. Next, please put up your right thumb as we take another screenshot. Ready, set, say cheese. Lastly, please put up two thumbs. Two thumbs up, please, as we take one last photo. Ready, set, say cheese. Thank you for joining the group photo shooting. In today's Mayor's Roundtable discussion, delegates from 6 cities across 4 continents will share their experiences in using smart governance and technologies to mitigate the impact of the pandemic. The Mayor's Roundtable will be moderated by Ambassador Tom Cho, Commissioner of Taipei City Mayor's Office for External Affairs. I will now turn the program over to Commissioner Cho.
Thank you. Mayors, deputy mayors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Tom Cho, Commissioner to Mayor's Office for External Affairs. On behalf of Taipei City Government, I would like to extend the warmest welcome to you for attending the 2020 Mayor's Summit online. Due to the pandemic, we have chosen to conduct this year's Mayor's Summit online through video call. This is the first challenge COVID-19 has brought to our Smart City Forum, that is to test our ability to perform long-distance communication. The fact that we are all able to meet online today is a testament that we all have the capability to meet the challenge. Taiwan is a giant in the industry of information and communication technology. In terms of semiconductor chip production, TSMC is the world's largest foundry and the target of cooperation among countries. Taipei City has significant experience in the development of smart city and disease prevention, which we could share with other cities through this forum. This year, the discussion of Mayor's Summit Roundtable focuses on how COVID-19 has severely impacted citizens' daily life, the operation of city government, and the economy of the city, and how can we utilize technology to assist the recovery of our cities. Now let's give a round of applause to Vivian Huang, Deputy Mayor of Taipei City, to share Taipei's experience.
Hi everyone, I'm Shan-shan Huang, the Deputy Mayor of the Taipei City. It's my great honor to be here today to present an overview of the latest development regarding Taipei Smart City Initiative. In light of the COVID-19 crisis, we are able to integrate technology with our experience in pandemic prevention. We would also like to share our strategy and the response to the post-pandemic world of tomorrow. For the next part, we will cover two topics: technology-assisted pandemic prevention and a report on development towards confronting a post-pandemic era. The first part is on how Taipei City was able to confront the pandemic through technology-assisted pandemic prevention efforts, as well as details on the pandemic prevention policy. This approach helps us to reduce the impact upon the overall operation of Taipei City, and we would like to share this experience with you. Taipei, as the capital of Taiwan, covers an area of about 270 square kilometers. The 4 million population consists of residents and the labor force commuting from nearby municipalities. Urbanization has brought many problems to this city, but Taipei's convenient mass transportation system, high-quality talents, strong ICT industry, trend, and the various infrastructure have provided rich nutrients for the further development of the smart city. After experiencing the SARS pandemic of 2003, the city government invested much effort overhauling its medical care system. The national effort yielded over 20,000 clinics and hospitals across Taiwan, with citizens being aware of the danger and pandemic and the importance of face masks. This experience makes it easy to build awareness of preventing pandemic of COVID-19. This allowed Taiwan to move swiftly ahead of pandemic prevention preparedness, employing existing resources to effectively protect its people from the impact of COVID-19 of this year. First, Taiwan's first line of defense will be introduced. All arrivals must declare their health situation on arrival. Those with symptoms are tested. The data of those whose symptoms will be imported to the smart quarantine multifunction system, and the health unit will carry out 40 days of caring and record each person's health situation and hospital visits. Those who test negative will be tracked for 40 days after arrival. As of August 14, 2020, Taipei City has tracked 20,000 people tested and 1,700 with 78 people testing positive, a positive rate of 4.62%. Contact of confirmed cases are a high-risk group and must undergo 40 days home isolation. Arrivals are the second high-risk group and must undergo 40 days home quarantine. They are tracked through the contact tracing system and the epidemic prevention tracking system. During the home isolation period, health unit staff will contact each person at least twice a day to inquire about health. Those under home quarantine will be contacted by civil administration unit staff at least once a day. It will be arranged for those with suspected COVID-19 symptoms to be taken to the hospital for a test. Through implementing management of arrivals and contacts as of August 14, 2020, of the 122 confirmed cases in Taipei City, only 8 were local. The rest were imported, and no large-scale community outbreak has occurred. Electronic fence system use mobile phone positioning to ensure that the person under home quarantine and or isolation stays in the quarantine scope to reduce the risk of community infection. According to the data of contact tracing system and the epidemic prevention tracking system, the mobile phone of a person under home isolation or quarantine is positioned. When a person under home isolation or quarantine leaves the quarantine scope or turn off their phone, the system will send a warning message to the person. The manager and the police ask the person to quickly return to the quarantine location. The manager and the police will also visit the location as past evidence of a rule violation to the Department of Health, so a fine can be issued. After a person arrives at hospital, by inserting a national health insurance card, National Health Insurance Medical Cloud System will remind staff if the patient is subject to home quarantine or isolation, in a high-risk occupation, has travel or contact history, to allow risk of infection to be assessed. In the area of actual application, access control will be implemented at the hospital entrance and entry only after card is entered and the TOCC confirmed, to avoid high-risk person causing infection in hospital. In light of the pandemic subsiding, Taipei City has begun the process of reopening public venues. However, it still manages the facilities by subdividing them into two types, A and B venues. A, public operated by public agency, and B, entertainment in the industries. Visitors access public venues will need to bring ID card for one-side checks. For this, the Department of Information Technology developed an integrated app to implement the real name registration system. Currently, all reopened venues adopt this system to ensure the protection of person information by gathering them on secure cloud-based data bank. If there is a need for tracking due to COVID-19 concerns, the information can be accessed in compliance with the privacy protection laws. The data will be removed after reaching the expiration date. A distribution chart of the user access city affiliated public venues and facilities. The data is integrated at the big data center for efficient management. If we receive report on confirmed COVID-19 cases visiting any of these venues, we can trace quickly and effectively with the help of this information. In the area of education, Taipei City offers Taipei Cook Cloud to meet demand of distance learning. Taipei Cook Cloud receives honors in the education category of both 2019 and 2020 IDC Scholar Awards. Taipei Cook Cloud boasts a rich pool of education resources, as well as online learning resources such as Cook Reading and programming education area for student and faculty access. In response to the pandemic, Taipei Cook Cloud sees a growth of 5.3 million visitors in the month of March alone, with the trend subsiding in April. The website still saw 2.5 million in April, reporting an average monthly growth of 500,000 users, which is growth of 3 to 4 times compared to the figure before COVID-19. In June, the number of access exceeded 13 million. During the pandemic period, Taipei City Government still maintains an open and innovative attitude. It continues to introduce innovative service via public-private partnership and the real name registration face mask vending machine is an example of this. In response to COVID-19, Taiwan implemented the real name registration system to manage sales and inventory control of face masks in February. Many pharmacies around the island joined the national effort in fighting the pandemic by serving as important collection and distribution hubs. To reduce the pressure on pharmacies while allowing greater convenience for citizens to purchase the masks, Taipei City Government worked with the startups to roll out the real name registration face mask vending machine. The device integrates real name system verification with diversified e-payment option, which lowers the risk of contracting the virus from cash. All customers have to do is insert their national health insurance card and the machine will check his or her purchase status. They can retrieve their face mask from the machine after paying with Easy Card or other e-payment option. During the pandemic period, Taipei City Government held regular meetings to discuss the latest development of COVID-19. However, it encouraged problems such as segmented information, prevention policymaker to make a full grasp of the situation. To resolve the issue of fragmented data, we integrate COVID-19 related information with the latest pandemic status for Taipei City through the Big Data Center. Through clear-cut visual presentation of the related data, city officials are able to use them as reference to make decisions on resource allocation, risk assessment, and the performance tracking of pandemic prevention efforts. Though Taiwan has managed this pandemic successfully, we must also take into consideration other countries that are still battling against COVID-19. Therefore, Taipei City Government has actively participated in exchange forum to share our policies and experience. Furthermore, Taipei City Government has also sent each of its sister cities a copy of our epidemic prevention SOPs and offer further assistance to those that request it. As long as other countries are still suffering, Taipei never be safe from the virus. We are determined to use innovative technology to create a new business model that can operate under the digital transformation. We have also examined how to better protect people-centric industries and the methods to strengthen supply chain. This pandemic has also offered an opportunity to boost the development of our biotech industry. Engage with other countries to learn about their experience and policies to promote economic revitalization is not only beneficial for us, but is also a meaningful way to deepen our relations. As nations across the world enter the post-pandemic era, Taipei City continues to ponder upon what form the future economy will take, as well as the vision, corresponding strategy, and the response. So, to stimulate the economy, the Taipei City Government has formulated 5 short-term actions and aim to promote economic revitalization of the wholesale and retail industries, business district, night market, department store, and catering. The first is to guide the cooperation between business, e-commerce vendors, and delivery platform. Second, we must assist them with the digital transformation of the industry and support business innovation. Third, the government shall help business pioneer overseas opportunities. Fourth, we must improve environmental facilities and basic infrastructure. And finally, we will increase business opportunity and help promotional events. The post-COVID-19 era is defined by a new form of isolation between people and people, as well as between nation and nation. This will be reflected on corporations, individuals, and consumption patterns, and create changes in industrial system by introducing unmanned, automated, and flexible production, long-distance learning, remote working, seamless health and environment service, and other individual consumption environment will accelerate the development of the e-commerce. Online, the virtual economies will also graduate and be initiated. As a local government, we must consider how to build a better future. There are 3 key items that we must consider. The first item is how to make the government smarter. In other words, how we can create a further government with a digital ecosystem. This is a very important point. The second item is the provision of the new talent. How we can support the innovation and transformation process by better talents. The third item is the completion of all things that must be done so that the retail economy and the zero-touch economy can move to the next stage. And this epidemic escalate digital transformation. The Taipei City Government is hoping to take the lead and set example with public department in addition to adding service for residents. We are working to trigger imagination and develop opportunity in different fields so that these ideas and opportunity can drive industry transformations. In the face of the pandemic, Taipei City Government responds in the shortest amount of time through private-public partnership and technology assistance pandemic prevention efforts. It was able to resolve the challenges and improve the overall effectiveness of city operation while maintaining continued service to residents despite keeping manpower investment low. It is able to quickly adjust and adapt to a lifestyle characterized by coexisting with COVID-19. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the city government seeks to implement digital transition by leading with the public sector. In addition to providing more service to residents, it also reaches out to industry and explore the possibilities of further development, encouraging the private sector to embark on their own transition as well. Due to the limited time, I was able to provide only a brief overview of our plan. I welcome you all to scan the QR code and visit the website, and you can see the in Taipei Pavilion and the pandemic prevention SOP page to look up the details. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Huang, for your brilliant presentation. Through her speech, we can clearly see that the highlights of Taipei City Government in combating COVID-19 are keeping the balance between disease prevention and economic development, and cost-effective consideration, and embracing the new norm through e-government reform. And as of the 16th of August this year, Taipei City only has 126 confirmed cases, including 1 death, whereas Taiwan has a total of 482 confirmed cases and 7 deaths. Moreover, the domestic market is booming. The hotels in famous tourist spots are fully booked, and the restaurants are flooded with guests, demonstrating the great reference value of Taipei City's disease prevention experience. In addition to Taipei City, other major cities around the world also have great experience worth learning. Today, we are very honored to have the mayors and representatives of New Zealand, Australia, the United Kingdom, Nigeria, and Vietnam joining us to share their valuable views. And firstly, please allow me to introduce Mayor Grant Smith of the Palmerston North, New Zealand. The city is home to more than 70 major educational and research institutions, which means they have a great number of smart and young workforce, as well as diversity in innovation. Let's welcome Mayor Grant Smith.
Kia ora tātou, nau mai, haere mai, and hello everyone. I'm Mayor Grant Smith of Palmerston North City in New Zealand. We're an international city of approximately 100,000 people in central New Zealand, 125 kilometres north from our capital of Wellington. My presentation will be around inclusion, innovation and partnerships for smart city recovery. Next slide, please. New Zealand went early and hard to tackle COVID-19. New Zealand's rapid and whole-of-government approach to COVID-19 has been recognised worldwide. We had a month-long lockdown from late March to late April, which meant New Zealand enjoyed a period of over 100 days without active community transmission. Managed border isolation, returning residents continue to catch cases at the border, with our cities and communities being able to enjoy life as normal again. Unfortunately, last week, a second wave of some cases of community transmission reappeared. So the government have activated immediate plans to respond with some regional lockdowns, much testing, and a stringent contract tracing, much of this with a National Tracing Act. So the COVID-19 situation has posed some challenges and lessons for cities around New Zealand, including Palmerston North. And technology has been crucial to both the response and the recovery. Next slide, please. You can't have a smart city without a connected city, and you can't have an internet of things without an internet of everybody. But differences in digital access still exist between people from different socioeconomic backgrounds. And during the early COVID-19 lockdown, schools here in New Zealand and Palmerston North had to swiftly close, with education and learning going online. This posed an immediate challenge for many families without internet access or suitable devices. So the community had to respond, and very fast. Digit's Charitable Trust is a collaborative citywide approach supported by the City Council and other local sponsors to enable digital inclusion for households with school-aged children in Palmerston North City. Over the lockdown, Digits moved swiftly to help families and kids online, including access to free Chromebooks, modems and data, as well as digital skills tutorials, support, all offered remotely. And this action also links to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, Target 9C, which is around aiming for universal access to ICT and the internet. The rest of my presentation focuses on our smart city approach to city recovery, including the economy, the environment, social and cultural elements. Next slide, please. It's more really than big government technology investments. It's about partnerships and enablers for business and the economy. To assist with the recovery, the City Council, Economic Development Agency and local businesses banded together to support local businesses in survival and talent retention. The Choose Manawatu Buy Local campaign encouraged our residents and our community to purchase local products and services, supporting the local spending economy. The Local Talent Portal and website is a business-led initiative that acts as an enabler for resource sharing and talent, all through an easy-line online platform. Businesses that are busy can scale up with temporarily borrowing employees from other local businesses, while those in need of cash relief can scale down by listing talent for secondment. This partnership prevents large-scale redundancies and unemployment and gives businesses confidence to be flexible, knowing they can retain local talent for the longer term. These efforts linked again to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, Goal 8 of decent work and economic growth. And Palmerston North City's own vision is to make the most of small city benefits with big city ambition. Our city's size and location makes us very nimble and connected, while being open to new ideas and innovations. Spark New Zealand, our country's largest telco, has announced that Palmerston North City will become the first city in our country to have access to 5G on both mobile and wireless broadband. This is leading to a range of other initiatives and partnerships. Toyota New Zealand, also headquartered in Palmerston North, has partnered with Spark to use 5G to improve customer experience and help deliver on net carbon reduction targets through virtual showrooms, 360 immersive experiences, and virtual reality test drives. Next slide, please. So building on your strengths, it's also about knowing where your technology and talent has an edge. We're a university city with many tertiary organisations. And for our city, the edge is around agri-tech and food innovation, and using technology that can improve sustainability of the food production and food value chain. Palmerston North is in the agricultural heartland of New Zealand and is also home to the largest concentration of food scientists in the Southern Hemisphere. As a result, our city thrives as a centre of excellence for both agri-tech and food innovation and aims to become one of the world's top 3 agri-food hubs. With food security an even more important issue following COVID-19, we are poised to contribute to the world's most urgent action around food production and sustainability. And again, linking to the UN Sustainability Development Goals 12 and 2 around zero hunger and responsible consumption and production. Next slide, please. Palmerston North COVID-19's own city recovery plan supports the economy, but also the environment, social and cultural elements of our city's future. These contribute to the UN Goal 11 for sustainable cities and communities. We hold regular innovation showcases and forums to highlight innovations that are happening, but also hosting hackathons, allowing teams to pitch their cutting-edge projects. Around environmental innovations, the Palmerston North 2050 City Carbon Model is an interactive carbon calculator online that takes our city's carbon inventory and projects on how our emissions will change over the next 30 years. We also get better data and service provision through our digital water quality monitoring system. And we recently used this community consultation tool to consult with our public around local traffic management and speed bylaws to improve safety. Next slide, please. Look, it's not all about major technology rollouts either. We test, pilot and experiment on the ground to see what really works for our city and community for future investments. Some current examples include trials in our city for smart compacting using solar around rubbish and recycling bins, and also a trial on our smart playground equipment that enables mixed digital and physical play. Next slide, please. For the social and cultural engagement, we show that technology has the ability to bring people together, not just isolate them. Digital production mapping transforms spaces by telling visual stories, using powerful projectors to map graphics and images, turning objects such as buildings and structures into active displays which bring people together. The Manawatu Heritage Tours app allows residents to do self-guided tours, comparing the city's present to its past. And other digital improvements include the Smarty Grants, which has enhanced our culture and digital capability for our residents and the wider community. And while our newly developed Club Hub will help make life much easier for newcomers to the city, connecting local clubs with people and their various interest groups. Next slide, please. So where is Palmerston North City now in the Smart City Maturity Model? Well, we're at level 2, and that's the opportunistic. In level 2, cities are often driven by opportunities that technology vendors propose. But we want our smart city initiatives to be driven by strategic intent. We want to move up to level 3, a purposeful or city-led technology partner-enabled smart city. Next slide, please. So long term, it's about having a smart city maturity model. Small city benefits, but with bigger city ambitions. Next slide, please. It's about investing in your people, partnerships, and being creative with minimal budget. Smart cities at their heart are about situational awareness and being able to make good decisions without loads of money, taking the guesswork out of city management. It means building on an evidence base and community pride. There'll always be issues. Where is all the data going? Is it into silos? Is it open? But more importantly for New Zealand, it's about equality, and we're not leaving anybody behind. And I repeat, you can't have the internet of everything without the internet of everybody. Next slide, please. So finally, that is Palmerston North City story, New Zealand's presentation, small city benefits with big city ambition. Kia ora and thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Smith, for your excellent presentations. In your presentation, I'm very much impressed, in particular, the way you deal with the second wave of COVID-19 crisis. I think Taiwan only has the first wave. Hopefully, we do not have the second wave. So your valuable experience will be the very good reference for Taiwan's anti-COVID-19. The next speaker comes from Australia, Mr. Logan Hallett, the mayor of Coburn. The city of Coburn is a progressive, community-minded, and focused on the sustainable living. It's a great opportunity to know how they deliver well-organized services, through technology to achieve future visions. Let's welcome Mayor Logan Hollett.
Yes, and hello to everyone. I'm delighted to join this Mayor's Summit in Taiwan City, and I wish you all the very best as we come to terms with the COVID-19 pandemic. I've been the Mayor of the City of Coburn since March 2009, and in the next 10 minutes, I'll talk to you about COVID-19, how it has impacted our community, and what we've done as a local government to respond in the best possible way. Next slide, please. This is a map of Australia. We are here in the red circle on the west coast. We're just south of our state capital, Perth, with our good neighbours, the city of Queenar to our south, led by Mayor Carol Adams, who's also a part of this e-conference. Next slide, please. Like everyone around the world, we've been impacted by the coronavirus, but due to our relative isolation as a country and a state and the good management by our state government, we've been less impacted by the virus than most cities around the world. And other than restricted international interstate border crossings and limited some major sporting events to 50% of capacity of our stadiums, we have very few restrictions remaining in Western Australia. Of course, our state and local governments and our community are being careful and responsible to make sure things stay that way. And of course, we can never be too complacent about this pandemic. Next slide, please. High-level data from Western Australia as a state. You'll see that we have only had 654 confirmed coronavirus cases, and currently we have no active cases. 86% of our historical cases were from people from overseas. So we've had very little community transmission. Very low levels of transmission are a testament to the good work from our state government and our local government sector. Here at the City of Coburn, our greatest concern is the health and safety of our community, especially those most at risk. All of our efforts to protect and support our community are based on decisions and advice from our state government and the Health Department of Western Australia. Next slide, please. We've been very active at the City of Coburn in firstly protecting our residents from the health risk and then supporting them socially and financially. It's very important to note that almost 1/3 of our population is over 50 years of age. We took many difficult and important steps to protect our community. For example, we operate the Coburn Aquatic and Recreation Centre, which is a very popular facility used by 1.4 million people each year. And of course, we've have a partnership there at that facility with one of our national sporting teams, the Fremantle Dockers. We were also very quick to close this centre when the outbreak was spreading globally. To support our staff, we didn't stand them down. Instead, we employed some of them along with other staff from our other community services who operate a COVID helpline for our local community. The helpline was there for people who needed help accessing support and essential local services during these difficult times. Remember that 1/3 of our community is aged over 50 years of age, and some are not as technology savvy as the younger generations. We established an online resource centre with staff assisting them using our existing intranet. We adapted a Technology One module to be used as a confidential case notes. Basically, we adapted existing resources for our COVID-19 helpline and would be able to turn it on quickly if needed again. Next slide, please. We recognise how stressful this time was, so we're in constant contact with our community with regular communication bulletins and I've recorded several messages to communicate vital information to our local community and to try and keep their positive outlook in focus. Next slide, please. So the support for our community, the social support was firstly the telephone helpline. We're all looking out for each other at this time, which is why the city has set up a telephone helpline. It was about being confident that our community was safe, as it could be from COVID-19 infection. We prepared a program of social and financial support. I mentioned the telephone helpline. As well as that, we were in regular communication through a variety of non-physical means with our community. And as soon as we physically step back out there and see our community face to face, we did that. Next slide, please. Our council was very committed to supporting our community in a tangible financial way. We have prepared a 2021 financial year budget that ensures council rates, fees and charges are frozen or reduced in many cases. We've provided financial support to sporting clubs, community groups and organisations, our commercial tenants that occupy buildings that are owned by our city. Next slide, please. Council has also developed a comprehensive package to support local businesses, such as those notes that you see on the screen. That's been very well received by our local business community. Next slide, please. We also created a Restart Hub on our website that includes information and resources for COVID businesses. Additionally, we offer grants of up to $5,000 for eligible organisations. Next slide, thank you. That's just a short summary of some of the great work here at the City of Coburn in the state of Western Australia. I hope you found that to be informative. If you would like more information, please visit our website shown on your screen. That's all from me. I wish you well, and I trust that you'll enjoy the presentation from our neighbours and friends at the City of Kwinana, delivered by Her Worship Mayor Carol Adams. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you, Mayor Hallett, for sharing such a wonderful experience. And I'm also impressed by the city of Coburn is doing very well. Most of the steps you are taking to deal with COVID-19 proved to be very effective. The next speaker also comes from Australia. Now we are pleased to have Mrs. Carol Adams, Mayor of Kwinana, Australia, with us. Kwinana is home to Western Australia major industrial area, is initiating various infrastructure programs for shaping sustainable and advanced communities. So the floor is yours, Mayor Adams.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And I would like to congratulate the earlier speakers. They're doing some amazing, innovative ideas in North Palmerston and in Taipei. And I visited Taipei for Smart Cities, it was probably 18 months ago, and was very impressed. So as mentioned, my name is Carol Adams. I'm very proud to be the Mayor at the City of Kwinana, which is located approximately 40 kilometres south of our capital city of Perth. Now, Perth is actually one of the world's most isolated cities, which in many ways has assisted Western Australia greatly with the COVID-19 containment. Our local government area is approximately 118 square kilometres, and we're home to about 42,000 residents, so probably a bit smaller than Taipei and some of the other speakers today. Next slide, please. While still in Perth metropolitan area, Kwinana is located in the southwest corner and host to our state's primary industrial area, which actually contributes $16 billion annually to our state economy. Coburn, who you heard from earlier, is situated directly to our north. Our busy industrial area is sited along a very picturesque coastline, and it also includes a fully operational port that is surrounded by nature on all sides. WA has been very fortunate in terms of our geographical location, as I mentioned earlier, as West Australia had an ability to adopt a suppression strategy with respect to COVID-19 through early border closures and strict quarantine procedures, which at the time of this presentation has not seen any community transmission in the state since April 2020. We're currently almost back to business as usual in terms of socialising and running businesses, allowing for events up to 30,000 people to occur at this time, and that is mainly our Australian League football. And with much of the world focusing on major economic stimulus projects and WA being a mining and resource-focused state with large iron ore deposits, we're seeing a major uplift in mining industry, lessening the impact for us. Next, please. Like many councils and organisations globally, the rapid rise of COVID-19 pushed our city to seek innovative means of locating our workforce from remote locations. We'd already enabled our office-based workers with remote connectivity anywhere, anytime. So it was only really a matter of adding an efficient and easy-to-use meeting platform to our suite of tools. We opted for a Microsoft Teams as our preferred medium and rolled out training and tips for staff who quickly adapted to using this platform. And what we're seeing now is that many staff, and I must say councillors, much prefer using Microsoft Teams from their home office rather than going into council. It's actually certainly very convenient and efficient. What we have seen, however, in Kwinana is some limitations around access to really good quality internet. So our city is now pursuing additional Wi-Fi connectivity, as many disadvantaged residents have relied on our free public system, and this appears to not only important service for the community, but also a strong driver of getting people out of their homes and back into local shopping areas. The City of Kwinana is also a member of the Southwest Group's Smart Regional Program, which exists to help councils use their data and technology more effectively and intelligently to achieve their strategic goals. Next slide, please. And as you're all aware, as we're doing this now, COVID has seen people spending more time than ever looking at screens. So our focus has been have a broad messaging and communication plan. The city quickly developed a brand, a look and feel for the pandemic that made our notices and our community alerts immediately recognisable to the public. Next slide, please. The city already had a strong Facebook following, and during social isolation and community lockdown, our website and social media platform became a really trusted source of information to the community. The City of Kwinana has quite a large migrant population. Many of our population are from non-English speaking backgrounds. So we used a variety of tools to spread messages to our community about the way in which we could support them as a council, and some innovations including using simple animations to explain complex issues, arranging means to connect with neighbours, or promoting local businesses who have been having a hard time re-establishing themselves during and after the lockdown period, which went from March to June. And it was pleasing to note that a few of the other speakers have been doing exactly the same. We also used this platform to share state government news bulletins as they became available. Next, please. The city had a wide range of activities planned for 2020, as I'm sure your cities also did. But when the pandemic hit, the city spent time moving programs online so that the community would not be disadvantaged. From online storytelling from our libraries to employment workshops, the city catered to all ages and abilities and even offered a click and collect service from its library. In addition to this, we're one of the very few local governments who actually conducted citizenship ceremonies online. Pre-COVID, we would conduct a ceremony probably once per month with up to 80 new citizens making their pledge of commitment to becoming an Australian citizens. We soon amassed a backlog of over 500 people, so we started conducting back-to-back ceremonies over several days, which were great and are actually very personable, and we were able to work through those ceremonies, and we're now on track. Last slide, please. Probably the biggest takeaway for us as an organisation was that the investment we had made in IT solutions to more mobile some years ago was certainly really paying some great dividends with our ability to maintain service delivery. We were also implementing online innovations through the use of video, but the pandemic provided us with an opportunity to move for applications and engagement online, where we can be more effectively engage with our applicants and community members. Importantly, we are using digital literacy programs that help to build up the skills of our elderly and disadvantaged community members, as digital literacy has emerged from this crisis as a key pillar to resilience. So as I mentioned before, some of these innovations I'm sure you're all doing, but it was great to have the opportunity to showcase what Kwinana has been doing during the pandemic. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Adams, for your excellent speech. I'm also glad to hear that the city of Kwinana is doing very well. The citizens in that beautiful city can live a kind of very normal. Congratulations, well done. Next, it is our pleasure to welcome Deputy Leader of Edinburgh Council, Mr. Kemi Day from the United Kingdom. The capital of Scotland has long been the nation's centre of education and the second largest financial centre. Their innovative creativeness has aided the development of incredible future smart city. So now please welcome Mr. Kemi Day.
Thank you, and I'm really pleased to be part of this year's Smart City, albeit online. I was also there last year and love Taipei and Taiwan and hope we can get there again next year. And hello to all our viewers online. I suppose in Edinburgh, we haven't suffered hugely from COVID in terms of some parts of the UK. The UK has not done particularly well. We have over 41,000 deaths in the UK, 2,500 in Scotland, so quite a lot less, but a much smaller population. And I'm trying to touch on some of the areas that we'd like to concentrate on going forward as we recover and rebuild in Edinburgh. So I'm the Deputy Leader of Edinburgh City Council, and I also lead on smart cities. We are also an inclusive and welcoming capital city, and you're all, of course, welcome to come and visit Edinburgh. Edinburgh is also the main economic driver for a lot of the economy in Scotland, particularly through our fantastic festivals that we have every year, obviously, apart from this year. Next slide, please. So we have a population of just over 500,000 people here in the capital city with a continued growth. Being a World Heritage Site for Edinburgh creates a number of problems in how we grow the city, both in terms of our need for smart housing and smart transport, and also available land, etc. And it's really difficult to manage some of these competing demands when we are a World Heritage Site. We also have an ambition to become zero carbon by 2030. So given that's 10 years away, we have a lot of work to do there. We are also the hosts of our own government here in Scotland and our parliament. And some of the world's best universities, I think, here are based here in Edinburgh, with some of the technology geniuses, I think, of the world as well. We have the Bayes Institute and the development of the Futures Institute, which will see, I think, some of the technological brains of the world hopefully be based here in Edinburgh as we go forward. Our festivals obviously are some of our biggest economic drivers in the city, and that's thankfully been able to continue due to technology this year when we've seen our international festivals, the fringe festivals, our jazz festivals, all be able to go online and try something quite new and exciting thanks to the technology. And I see that, and that we've a lot to learn from the things I've heard from colleagues this morning. I've also been able to watch the famous Taiwan dance group B-Dance, who I've known in Taipei, to watch their performances online, which I've never done before. So it's been quite exciting for me to use technology. Next slide, please. I suppose some of the key things we're looking at in moving forward, as COVID has had a great impact on the city, we've had to immediately have thousands of people working from home who don't have the facilities at home, who might not have the appropriate broadband and Wi-Fi. We are learning fast, as we just said. And we've had to have an immediate ICT upgrades with our suppliers, the broadband capacity. We're also tied that we have legislation from both UK and Scottish governments to inform things that we do, and sometimes the messages from the UK and the Scottish government have been conflicting, which has created a number of issues for local authorities here in Scotland. But we have an ambition to become the data capital of the UK, and I would like to say the data capital of Europe. And when I was in Taipei last year, I tried to meet with some of the key people around these areas, and I'm really keen to continue these links. I suppose we need to also be, in terms of making policy decisions in the City Council, we want that to be informed by data. So some of the areas that we're taking forward in phase one, in terms of an operations platform, complete CCTV replacement across the whole city, and sensors that give us a lot more data, that is primarily to inform policies as we go forward. Next slide, please. One of these areas is about fitting smart sensors into our tenants' houses to alert us to any particular issues, whether that's changes in the temperature of the houses that would worry us, deterioration of the conditions, any issues around mould and dampness. And that information is fed to a central platform to try and allow us to manage our workforce, create service orders, to alert the staff, and ultimately with a view to keeping people safe at home. And a lot of that work is currently happening as we speak. Next slide, please. I suppose where we're going from here, we are now looking to develop a city centre, a city operations capacity in our new waterfront in Edinburgh. And that will be about keeping the citizens in Edinburgh, the people, the near 5 million people who visit the city every year, safe. Now, whether that's facial recognition or a joined up approach, we have CCTV systems on our bus providers, on our roads network, by private companies and the council's own system. And we really need to have that all joined up to have one smart cities operations centre that brings in all the data from the city and that's managed appropriately. We've been looking at gathering data on crowd control and crowd management, how people use our streets at peak times and how we can then manage traffic flow and at peak periods, and also how we maintain the roads and pavements across the city. Hopefully in the future will be informed by the data provided by a wide range of CCTV camera systems. Next slide, please. I suppose one of the other issues we're looking at in terms of waste, I think someone else touched on this, is trying to manage our waste more effectively, given that creates some huge public health issues. And being an ancient part of the city that we're in just now, with a huge tourism and a huge hospitality industry, the management of waste can be quite problematic. So moving to this kind of technological solution with sensors in bins, street bins and trade bins, allowing us to manage our resources, our staff team, and hopefully manage things like fly tipping and the abuse that we're seeing in some of the streets. Not only is it public health, it just makes the place look not particularly appealing for people who visit the capital city. Next slide, please. So this slide just gives a bit of information about our current phase. There's around a £5 million investment in phase one of our smart cities. We've managed to get some money from the European Regional Development Fund. Some of the council's own resources have been put into that. But we need to be, again, a number of people have mentioned this morning, Edinburgh's really keen to continue our great partnerships with people across the country, across the world actually, but in particular with our universities, who I think have some of the best ICT brains in the world, and we need to learn from that. But you can see around a £5 million investment in the first phase of that, and I think we're looking at a long-term investment of tens of millions of pounds as we go forward with our phased approach to technology. Next slide, please. So this is my, I think, final slide, and just cover some of the benefits I think we'll get out of this in terms of our social housing. These monitors will help us monitor the stock and give people a better standard of living, allow us to manage our repair services and our budgets effectively, ultimately leading to a better place to be. Edinburgh's ranked as one of the top cities in the world to visit, and I would like to keep us like that. I'd again touch on the waste, how we manage the growing waste in a historic city that's difficult to change, how we manage some of these issues, and growing our CCTV to be data driven for a whole number of issues across the city. And just as was, there's always that concern that are we being a big brother approach to monitoring what everybody does to make better policy decisions. So my line is always, if you have nothing to hide from it, why wouldn't you welcome these systems that monitor what we do on a daily basis to give us the data to make people's lives better? And I suppose that's where we're at. In terms of welcoming people back to Edinburgh, we want this to be one of the smartest, cleanest, best cities. And our slogan is Forever Edinburgh, so please come and join us. And that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Day, for your inspiring remark. I'm very impressed about the progress Edinburgh has made in the smart cities. I think in the future, there's a lot of room for cooperation between Taipei and Edinburgh. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Mohamed Onimishi Yahaya, Assistant Director of the National Information Technology Development Agency of Nigeria. The agency plays a very important role for Nigeria's economic development. Please join me to welcome Dr. Mohamed Onimishi Yahaya.
Thank you. Good morning from Abuja. Share my slides, please. Yeah, Abuja is the federal capital of Nigeria with about over 3 million population during the pandemic. Next slide, please. Next slide. That is what we are going to look at. Now, welcome to Abuja. Abuja is a very beautiful, nice city where we have the administrative capital of Nigeria. Next. Yeah, we are going to look at the pre-COVID Abuja. Go to next slide. Yeah, this is the sight and sound of Abuja. But with the onset of COVID-19, we are all aware that our life is disrupted, where we will now have to change the way we do things. Then go to the next slide. Yet when the crisis erupted, we have not had this kind of, in Nigeria, we've not had this kind of crisis in our living memory. But with the onset of COVID-19, we had the National Information Technology Development Agency, in collaboration with various Ministry of Health, then we have to spring into actions to see how we can contain the pandemic. Next slide. We're now in the crisis mode, that is in the COVID-19. Next slide, please. Yeah, the president of the country, because at the initial part of the COVID-19, we had fewer cases, but with time, because Nigeria has over 37 states, or what we call provinces in other climes, then with over 200 million. But with the government, with the use of information sharing and information technology, we are able to contain the spread of disease. Then in Abuja specifically, okay, go to next slide. We are all aware that the COVID really impacted both economics, the way we live, the way we do things. Then we now have to see how we can use smart technology and digital technology to rebound back to normal life. Within the first few weeks, because of in order to contain community spread, there was lockdown. But within 2 to 3 weeks, within the lockdown, the government was able to put in place all activities, what we need to reopen the economy. Then we started virtual working, where citizens are encouraged to work from home. Next slide, please. Citizens work from home. Then to support of this work from home, we now have to make sure that most of the things that we have, like banking, was done from home, online transactions. Then health, we now have health consulting from home, because most of the hospitals, the government limited those that goes to hospital. Therefore, there were facilities for online facilities to people to consult their doctors for those that have already existing health situations. Next slide. Next slide, please. Now, you can see from the picture out there. No, previous slide. Previous slide. Yeah. Backward. Okay, I'm here. Oh, good. Thank you. Hold on here, please. You can see from the left-hand side there, that is the president before the COVID-19, attending our sub-regional meeting. But during the COVID-19, we had to switch on to another form of life, where everything, all government businesses were now, private businesses were now being conducted online. This is with the aid of digital technology, with the support of Abuja Smart City. The citizens were seriously informed of the pandemic. Therefore, because of the information sharing, efficient information sharing across the country, then that has stopped the spread. And so far, so good. Maybe in the whole of Africa or all over the world, the country that has the same population with Nigeria, we have a fewer case with other countries. Next slide, please. The Center for Disease Control. What you are seeing here, the Center for Disease Control in Nigeria give day-to-day, hour-to-hour update of the number of infections, and enlighten the citizens of what to do so that to contain the slides. What you have so far, we have 49,000, almost 49,000 cases. We have 977 deaths, which is out of over 200 million populations. That is a great feat. Next slide, Dave. Yeah, this is my clinic. As the Development Technology Agency, what we did during the onset is that we crowdsourced for innovative technologies, where the agency asked Nigerians or startups to come up with ideas to minimize moving from one to the other. That one of the innovation that came up is what you're seeing, my clinic, where people can now consult their doctors from home without the need to go to the hospital in order to stop the spread of the disease. Next slide, please. Yeah, for the post-COVID-19, we have reached in Nigeria, we have reached the peak of the pandemic. Now the digital technology offers of hope, because for the past since April, the government workers are encouraged to stay at home and work from home. That has been the situation up till now. Next slide. Then we are looking at it's not only Abuja that has a smart city. We have a complete whole country smart city plan. Therefore, we are going to look at the smart city plan, because Nigeria is a developing country, is to make sure that we use the digital technologies to create environment or communities that people can live for adequate, affordable healthcare, clean potable water supply, electricity, then smart agriculture. Because with high population, we have to make sure that we are food sufficient. That is one of the advantages that we had during this pandemic. That before the pandemic, the president of the country, in his own wisdom, closed the border so that we now have a team where we say we grow what we eat. Therefore, within this period, I can proudly say that Nigeria did not import any foodstuff and we were able to sustain up till today. Next slide. Yeah, this one, the next few slides, I'll give you some example of our smart city projects where we will hope that we are going to collaborate with Taipei Smart City in order for the development of our smart city projects. Next slide. This is Calabar. Calabar is one of the cleanest city in Nigeria. One of their smart city projects is smart waste collection project, where we have all these waste bins are tagged that it is used to route the waste collection. Therefore, Calabar now is using the smart technology. Is one of the cleanest city in Nigeria. Next slide. Then another one is Lagos, where we have smart city hub. In this case, what happens is that there's an ecosystem, because we are working on the Eco-Atlantic city, where we have an ambitious project to come up with a city like Dubai from the Atlantic Ocean by reclaiming the Atlantic Ocean. In this, we have the collaboration of a private partnership between government agencies, different organizations to come together and have a smart city hub. Then part of the smart city hub is that during this pandemic, we try to see that all the ecosystems comes together to develop what we need to get out of this pandemic safely, hale and healthy. And so far, so good. I can tell you that Nigeria is doing well, Abuja is doing well. That is all. Next slide. Thank you from Abuja. That is our own experience. Thank you. Good morning from Abuja.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yahaya, for your valuable experience of Nigeria. In your presentation, I can see that you only have about 9,000 confirmed cases with a population for more than 200 million. This is a quite achievement. Congratulations. Our final speaker is Mr. Tai Tang Hai, head of the Information Technology Divisions, Da Nang, Vietnam. Da Nang has a higher urbanization ratio than other regions in Vietnam. The city has a great potential to become a smart city model within the country. Let's welcome Mr. Tai Tang Hai.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tai Tang Hai, head of Information Technology Division of Da Nang City, Vietnam. It's my pleasure today to represent Da Nang City to discuss about the way of using ICT to cope with COVID-19. Next slide, please. This is the brief introduction of Da Nang City. You can see that Da Nang City is situated at the center of Vietnam. Da Nang City has many potential and advantage, and nowadays Da Nang has become as center and driving force to the socio-economic development of the central region. Next slide, please. Da Nang has soon realized the benefits of ICT and had applied ICT into the operation of administration agencies in many years. From 2010, we have built the e-government architecture framework and implemented the e-government information system to serve all public agencies and officials. From 2013, we have begun to pilot some smart applications, and until 2018, we have built the smart city architecture framework and officially start to develop smart city. Next slide, please. And with successful deployment in e-government and smart city, Da Nang City has received many awards and recognition from national and international organizations Especially, you can see the WeGo Award 2014 and the Social Smart City Award 2019. Next slide, please. As you may know, the COVID-19 is currently one of the most concerned global issues with over 20 million cases and 750,000 deaths. Vietnam has made effort and achieved some success in dealing with COVID-19. But during the 3 months from May, there were no new COVID-19 cases in Vietnam. But now we realize a second wave of COVID-19. At the end of July, COVID-19 had returned to Vietnam, and Da Nang City has now become the central outbreak with over 300 cases. Next slide, please. And with available background and capacity, Da Nang City has strongly promoted the application of ICT to cope with COVID-19, including in online working, online meeting, online learning, and also in prevention of spread of COVID-19 in society. Next slide, please. As mentioned before, Da Nang City has implemented the e-government information system and put into operation from 2014. This platform plays a crucial importance in the operation of the city government. All public agencies and officials work on this system to handle administration, papers, and document online. Until now, 99% of Da Nang population have access to the internet, and we have provided 95% public administration services to serve citizens and organizations. And during the second wave of COVID-19, Da Nang City has decided to stop receiving directly administration dossier and encourage to submit online on the public service portal. Next slide, please. For online meeting, Da Nang City has also requested all agencies and to organize meeting online. To do this, we employ two solutions, the hardware solution and also the software solutions. For hardware solution, we are using the Polycom system to organize the video conference between the Da Nang People Committee with the department and district. And until now, we have organized around 60 video conference. And for software online, we have developed ourselves the software based on the platform to serve small size meetings. Next slide, please. And for online learning, we have ourselves developed the Da Nang e-learning portal. This to provide the courses and training, free courses and training for public officials and citizens. And we have also cooperated with Microsoft to set up free Office account for our teachers and students for online teaching and learning. Next slide, please. And we also recognize the best way to deal with COVID-19 is the communication with citizens to transfer the information of COVID-19 and also to the city policies. So we use many ways to communication with citizens, such as especially we have the city hotline 1022, and also we use the email, the public Wi-Fi, and the social network to transfer our policy and information. Next slide, please. The COVID-19 is very dangerous because the speed of spread in society is very fast, and it takes a couple days for an infected person to appear the symptom. So the most important thing is to detect the infected cases as soon as possible. And after that, we need to trace the people who have close contact with infected people and quarantine them. To do that, we have developed ourselves the Blue Zone, the application, we name it Blue Zone. This uses the Bluetooth low energy technology to determine the cloud contact between the smartphones. And when detecting when detecting a COVID-19 case, we can quickly determine during the previous time who had been in contact with infected people, also using Blue Zone. And this application can have medical facility to quickly isolate suspected cases in close contact with infected cases, instead of quarantining thousands of people. And one suspected case to know early information to protect themselves and surrounding community. And until now, about 50% of population Da Nang have installed the Blue Zone. Next slide, please. We have also developed an application named EcoV for online voluntary health declaration. This will help medical facility to track the progress of citizens and check measures when suspicious symptoms appear. In this application, personal information is absolutely confidential and it's served on only epidemic prevention and community health protection. Next slide, please. We have also developed a database of COVID-19 patients for easily managing, searching, reporting, and sharing. This database has been published on the Da Nang Open Data Portal and could be shared by API web service. Next slide, please. We have also developed the COVID-19 maps of Da Nang City so that we can visualize the epidemic information on the digital map, showing the centralized isolation locations, locked areas, patient home area, and the areas where patients have come within and over 14 days. This map is also public to help citizens to know about and avoid coming in those areas. Next slide, please. We have also the COVID-19 dashboard to support the direction of city leaders. This dashboard includes general information of COVID-19, total number of infected cases, under treatment, cure, and die. And you can see that until now, Da Nang City have over 300 confirmed cases and around 20. We have also the chart of infected cases by day, by district, by age, and by sex. Statistics of the centralized isolation location block areas, patient home, and the areas where patients have come within and over 14 days. And by implementing various measures, the number of infected cases tended to decrease. And the COVID-19 now in Da Nang City is under control. Next slide, please. So that's all. So this is where many measure of using ICT to deal with COVID-19 in Da Nang City. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hai, for your excellent speech. I think I learned a lot from your presentations. You're talking about e-government. E-government is one of the best solutions to contain COVID-19. Okay, after listening to the wonderful speeches of all the speakers, our Mayor's Summit has come to an end. I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt appreciation to all participants, in particular, the honorable speakers of the summit, for sharing your valuable experience. I believe we all have learned a lot today. And after our meeting, we will organize all the content of today's speeches and distribute them to all participants of the Mayor's Summit within the shortest time. Last but not least, I also want to express my gratitude to the online audience. Your support is very much appreciated, and will encourage us to make more contributions in improving the quality of our life. And please visit our website to find out more information about Smart City Forum. Thank you all, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, Commissioner Cho, for your closing remarks. And our most grateful appreciation goes to Deputy Mayor Huang and all the mayors and delegates for participating in the virtual summit today. And before we conclude, may I remind you that the live streams of all the 3 mayor summits this year have been archived on the official YouTube channel of the summit, so you can watch them again afterwards. You will find the link to the channel in the video description down below. Thank you for participating in the Smart City Mayor Summit online this year. We look forward to seeing you again in the 2021 Mayor Summit in Taipei.
See you in Taipei.